done this before. I've never run for president. This is a big stage. I wouldn't call it nerves. I certainly think there's an excitement about being a part of something like this.
Marco Rubio explaining why he's excited to be on the stage tonight here in Cleveland. He is one of the first to come in town yesterday, had an event last night, and joining him on stage, Kentucky Senator, fellow first-time presidential candidate, Rand Paul, my guest now here in Cleveland at theCUBE. How you doing, Senator?
Quite good. Glad to be here.
You have debated on the state level, not on the national level. What do you expect to be the difference?
Well, there's going to be a few more opponents. I had one opponent in Kentucky, and I'll have 13, 14, 15, how many? 20? A bunch.
Well, there will be 9 others for this event. How do you game that out?
Well, for the last couple of weeks, I've been sleeping on a really big, thick book, and I'm hoping through osmosis that's been getting into my brain. No, seriously, we debate the issues every day. We debate them with the media. We debate them with other candidates. And I doubt there'll be an issue that I haven't heard of, although I don't know. I understand they're pulling questions from everywhere. So.
Sometimes how the question is framed sets you up for an interesting answer, and I'm sure you're prepared for that.
Could be.
But you've been in Iowa. You have been in New Hampshire. You have been in South Carolina. You've held town hall meetings. You've heard from voters.
Well, we do it a little bit different than Hillary Clinton. We don't rope the reporters off. We actually talk to real people. So you're right, I get 5 or 10 questions every time I stop, and I might stop 5 or 6 times in New Hampshire in a day. So we're used to getting the questions, and you do get some off-the-wall questions, and so hopefully we'll be prepared.
The point is, that's like spring training. That's like football drills in the summertime. That's what gets you ready for a stage like this tonight. However, when the camera comes on, and you have Donald Trump in the middle of the stage.
Is he going to be here tonight?
He will be here tonight. What do you think about that?
I don't think about it that much. I think about trying to get my ideas and my issues out. You'll hear me talk about my flat tax proposal. You'll hear me talking about balancing the budget in 5 years. I'm the only one that has a federal plan that I've actually put the numbers and the pencil to the paper and said, this is how we'd balance the budget. And I think that shows how serious I am about the debt, cutting spending, and then we have a tax plan that would give more money back to the people than any other tax plan ever. So I'll try to break through some of the other stuff to try to present what I'm about.
And how critical is that? Are you trying for a breakthrough moment tonight? Or is it do no harm?
No, for me, it's we want to present our message, and we're going to mix it up, and I'm not going to be bashful. I'm not shy. I'm willing to mix it up with whomever in a polite way. I typically don't call anybody names, probably not on the stage. But the thing is we're going to mix it up. We're going to talk about the issues, and we need to have a substantive debate. I think there's been a bit of the debate in the last month or two that might have been superficial. And so we're going to try to get into the meat of matters, and we're going to talk about who's best to lead the country. We're not going to shy away from foreign policy. We're going to let people know there is a difference, and that if people want war, there's a lot of other choices. But if people want a strong national defense but are not eager for war, there's probably only one choice on the stage.
So you heard the president's speech yesterday about Iran then?
Yeah.
What did you think about that?
I think that we should negotiate. But I think that the negotiation should be from a position of strength. And I think that the president, the deal he ended up with wasn't a good enough deal.
Will you sign off on it?
Yeah, I won't support the deal, but I do support negotiations. And that separates me from a lot of Republicans. Many Republicans don't want any negotiations. But that wasn't really Reagan's way. Reagan talked to the Soviets. Reagan talked to the Chinese. Reagan also thundered to tell them to tear down the wall. But he didn't bomb people. He didn't say, oh, let's the end of the world, let's just bomb everyone.
But it seemed the president was making the case it's either war or it's this deal.
I don't think it's a binary choice. I think you've got war, you've got this deal, and then you've got a better deal. But I think what is important in the Republican primaries, there's some who say we shouldn't be negotiating at all. That's not my position.
Understood.
We should negotiate.
Your campaign yesterday was quick to point out a polling number in New Hampshire. And you believe at the moment, according to that poll, that you're ahead of Hillary Clinton. If true, what's moving there?
The best news we have in all the polling, and everybody always looks for the best news for themselves, but we beat Hillary Clinton in 5 states won by President Obama. That's how we're going to win. We're going to have to select a Republican who can actually win in the battleground states. So we actually are leading Hillary Clinton in New Hampshire. Some of the so-called front runners that people have predetermined are actually 16 points behind. Donald Trump is 16 points behind Hillary Clinton. How are we going to win if that's what we're going to do? The reason we're winning is because we're winning independents. I'm one who will go to the south side of Chicago. I'm one of the most conservative members of the Senate, but I will actually go to Detroit. I'll go to Chicago.
And I've heard you say that often. Last question. Sometimes there are moments that are captured forever, especially with social media now. Have you thought specifically about preparing for a line tonight that you will carry forward?
No, I guess I'm not quite that staged. I'm going to try to answer the questions the best. I'm not going to be afraid or back down. But I don't have like, oh, I've gotten this zinger.
I got you.
Johnny Carson didn't send a zinger to us.
Right, so it's either organic or it doesn't happen.
I agree.
Thank you, Senator, for your time. Rand Paul from Kentucky. Thank you. We'll see you later. All right, Martha.